Hi everyone. I really don't know how to start this, but I just decided to just sit down and then spill it and to share to you my experience. I wanted to tell you my story, hoping that it will be something that you can learn from. So in this video, I'm just going to share to you my experience, my personal account on COVID, my realizations, the things that I have learned, and maybe pieces of advice or encouragement for those of you who might be going through the same thing. My name is Trini Ann, and if it's your first time to be in my channel, welcome, and I hope you come back for more videos. You stay until the end of the video, and thank you in advance for taking the time to listen to my story. So just a brief background. In June, I was diagnosed with COVID, which came as a surprise for me. So I was not feeling well. I had not been feeling well for like a month because of my prolonged menstruation. So I think that I was going through some hormonal changes in my body, and until such time that I was really weak. I had fever, which I thought that time were just hot flushes, but when I checked my temperature, they went up to 38, 39 something degrees Celsius. So those were a high fever, and I got weak. It was difficult for me to move. I didn't have all the other symptoms like losing your sense of taste and smell, but I noticed that when I move, I would catch my breath, and I had to move really slowly, or else it would be difficult for me to breathe. And then I was so tired that I didn't want to get up, and I had not been eating for a few days. That made me weak, and I felt it that I was already dehydrated. If I was just alone, I would maybe just take time to get better at home. But the thing is, I have a child, and I was worried for my child as well. And I was thinking, if I don't get well that fast, how could I take care of my child? So that's when I decided that I wanted to go to the hospital and maybe admitted. And when I went to the hospital, I was actually looking for an OB/GYN. So I was not thinking about COVID at all. So my main concern was that why my menstruation was so long and it hadn't stopped. When the OB/GYN saw me, so she found out the problem, and then she found out that I was having this difficulty breathing, and my temperature was high. At that time, she endorsed me to a pulmonologist, and I had x-rays. My doctor, the pulmonologist, found out that I had pneumonia. So I was treated, and I actually responded to the medicine. But since I was already in the hospital, the doctor said that just to cover everything, we wanted to make sure that it's not COVID. Let's have an RT-PCR. Prior to that, by the way, before admission, I have my antigen swab test, and it turned out negative. So I was really, at that time, I was kind of confident that it was not COVID, and I was not thinking about it. But when we had the RT-PCR, I had it on my second day in the hospital, and then I got the result on the third day in the morning when the doctor visited me and told me I had COVID. So I was surprised that I had COVID, but at the same time, when you heard those words, and when you know that it's there, they found a virus in your body, you had it. It would come with a little guilt, or like I felt bad. I was thinking, had I not been careful, why did I get this? You know, like I was asking those questions, and at the same time I got worried that I might have given it to other people, the people around me, because in the house I am the, you know, like I'm the most okay. Like I'm living with high risk people. Like my father is a stroke survivor and a senior citizen, and then I have a little boy. So like I don't want to pass, you know, the virus to any of them. So I got worried and I felt guilty. And actually, the question on how I got the virus was already like I was pushing it. Like I was not entertaining that question anymore because I was more worried on, you know, the possibility of giving the virus, of transferring the virus to somebody else. But let's go to that question, how did I get the virus? Because frankly, I also don't know. I think I was the most careful in the house, and I didn't have a lot of interaction with people because I'm working from home. I even have my groceries delivered, and sometimes food delivered as well. So when I go out, it's just for really important things, or sometimes that I have to buy myself, because otherwise I would just ask runners or runners to buy things for me. And even when I go out, I'm just in a private vehicle, so I don't really have that much interaction with the people outside. The things that you do, like washing your hands, and when you go outside, when you come back, you change your clothes, you know, all those things. So I was doing all those things, so I was very careful. And I didn't know how I got the virus. And there was a point actually that I was thinking, you know what, if COVID was really, you know, like if we had COVID here in our place, I would be the last person to get it, because look at those people. I was way more careful than they are. But that's not the thing. You know what, I think COVID, para siyang nag-aabang doon sa mga people who are really, you know, like careful. Like sila yung inaabangan ng virus. Like siguro naiinis sila that, you know, you're always careful, but there will come a time that your guard will be down, or your immunity will be down, and then I will, you know, like get into your body. So mas tayo yung binabantayan, because most of those people who are careful, sila yung as far as I know, no, yung mga nakilala ko. Now, going back there, I felt guilty, no, like, was there a time na I had not been careful, that I was careless? Why did I get this virus? And then, maybe there's a part, just a small part for me, just a small part, like maybe shame, you know, like, oh, I have it, like, why did it happen to me? Like, you know, like you had a virus. But then I decided to share it to people. Like I posted on Facebook because I wanted people to be aware. And when I did that, many people were actually trying to reach out to me. And by the way, those messages, the get well soon, how are you, for a person who is sick, that actually meant a lot. So I was reading all those messages, so that would mean a lot, you know, if you're just in the hospital and you're not doing anything and you have the time to check your phone, check your messages. So those messages actually mean a lot. And many people also share their experiences and their personal experience that I would have not known had I not shared my story on Facebook. So there's actually a lot, not a lot, as many of my friends who got COVID as well, and that, you know, like maybe not them personally, but a member of their family or a member of their community who have, you know, like really experienced COVID. So, and I know these people are very careful people, responsible people. So I said, you know what, COVID could actually, I mean, COVID doesn't choose anybody. Like, anyone could have COVID, you know, kasi andyan na yung virus. So when you go out, you are really exposed to the virus. So the chance of getting COVID is always there. So you really have to be careful. Because as I've said, nakakita lang siya ng window. When your immunity is down or your guard is down, papasok talaga siya. So you have to be always careful. But kahit na nga careful ka, pwede ka pa rin magkaka-COVID. So anyways, I realized that you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to feel guilty when you have COVID, because it's not that you wanted to have COVID. Hindi mo naman pinipresenta yung sarili mo saying that, hey, I wanted COVID, come and, you know, infect me. It is not like that. So it could happen. So honestly speaking, especially if we're in the same demographics, if we get COVID, our chance of survival is really high. And in my case, I was glad that it happened when it happened, because had it happened a year earlier, it would be very difficult. The situation a year earlier was different from now. So now I think in our city, for example, we had this impression last year that if you get COVID, your chance of survival was very, very low, and that's because of the unpreparedness of the people, and you know, like we got overwhelmed. Like maybe the medical workers got overwhelmed, so it was really difficult at that time. During this time, it's different. The health workers are already vaccinated, they already know how to handle COVID patients, and you would feel that, you know, like, you know, your chance of survival is really high. And yeah, to tell you frankly, there are other things that you should be more afraid of, like the other C is still the scariest thing to have. Other diseases out there, more maybe scary than having COVID. But it's not about that. It's not about getting, you know, it's not about just surviving COVID. No, it's about all the things that go with it, you know, like COVID, that go with it. And again, I'm just talking about the people on the same age group maybe, but what if it happened to the people who are more high risk, close to you? So that's why we always have to be careful. We're going to talk more about the things that go with COVID, or all the hassles, the things that you really have to go through, in my next video. And for now, that's it. And I hope that you really get something from my story. Until the next one, I hope to see you in my next video.